This is bonkers. Bill Simmons just came out and said that the Phoenix Suns should look to trade Devin Booker if they lose this series to the Minnesota Timberwolves, giving a package with the New Orleans Pelicans around CJ McCollum and Trey Murphy. So we're going to be breaking that down, looking at, is that a smart move for the Phoenix Suns, or is Bill Simmons just spewing some nonsense? Plus, David Aldridge has a quote about Bradley Beal, which I kind of agree with. We'll be breaking down all of this and more on this episode of Suns Digest. I'm Bruce Veliz. Without further ado, though, before we dive in, this is a place for Suns news. So if you guys are finding us out right now, hit that subscribe button as we try to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the playoffs. Without further ado, though, let's dive into this video at hand. Make sure to grab a snack as it's going to be a jam-packed episode. The first topic that we're going to be discussing at hand today is the Devin Booker trade possibility. Now, Bill Simmons came out on his podcast, and we have a tweet from NBA Central saying that he throws out an idea of Phoenix potentially discussing a Devin Booker trade with the New Orleans Pelicans. He's saying that CJ McCollum, Trey Murphy, and throw us 2 future picks, and you can have Booker. And I want to say one thing and one thing only is Bill Simmons, slow your roll. Devin Booker is one of the league's best shooting guards, and we're tossing him away for 2 first-round picks, Trey Murphy and an aging CJ McCollum. I do not think so. Devin Booker's value is way higher than what you just gave us, and that is absolutely ridiculous. Yes, could he help out the Pelicans? Sure, do the Pelicans need some revamping? Do they need to get some of their younger guys to bring in some more ready talent? For sure. But Devin Booker for CJ McCollum, Trey Murphy, and 2 first-round picks is absolutely egregious. I know that the Phoenix Suns desperately need draft capital because they don't have a first-round pick till 2031, but there are much better ways that this team can be able to bring in new talent. I know that the only way we're really going to be able to find new talent is via trades because we don't have a larger salary cap because we have so many high-level contracts with KD, with Booker, with Beal, but I do believe that the Suns will be able to find ways to shed some salary and be able to get some other guys in here, some younger guys in here, and some just different faces for this franchise. And I desperately do not think that this is the move for the Phoenix Suns. I would think that you would have to get even more draft capital. This is absolutely ridiculous from Bill Simmons saying that. And if we want to look at the contracts, and that's why I want to bring this up, because I feel like the contracts are the biggest part for the Suns. CJ McCollum has $33 million this year and $33 million next year. Then he'd be a free agent. And Trey Murphy is obviously on a rookie scale deal, which will be a club option, which in a couple years, which will then turn into being a restricted free agent. So even if the Phoenix Suns were to make this deal, yes, they could get a playmaker in CJ McCollum, pair him alongside Bradley Beal, and then you could have a better run offense for sure. But CJ McCollum is getting older in age, and he's already making $33 million, which is not good. Yes, it's a little bit less than Devin Booker, so you can make some adjustments, but I don't think that that's the move. I think that's moving us in a lateral direction. I don't think that that helps us at all, because then if CJ McCollum doesn't like the fit, if CJ McCollum doesn't want to be here, he then leaves, and then you have a big hole at that position. And then you're trying to promise to Beal and KD, hey, we'll be able to bring some talent. Hey, we'll be able to find some guys for you. And then they're going to get frustrated. They're not going to want to stay. And then they're going to want out. And then we're at the point where we have no future draft picks, no future stars, and we have no talent even at all. And then we're just a dead space. We're basically just the desert. We have nothing here to brag about or to boast about, and that's what I don't like. Yes, Trey Murphy would be a great wing, a great shooter, a great addition for this squad, but like we mentioned, he's going to be a restricted free agent, and we're going to have to pay him eventually. So you lose Devin Booker, you bring in CJ McCollum, but eventually you're going to be giving that money that you were giving to Devin Booker to Trey Murphy and CJ McCollum combined, which in my opinion, I don't believe is worth it. I think that the Suns could get much better offers for Devin Booker if they were to go that route, and I don't even think that that's the smart route. Devin Booker is this franchise's player. He's the guy that's been here through the long haul. You guys went out and got CP3. You guys drafted DeAndre in, but he was brought in for this nucleus. Then you went out and got KD. Then you went and got Bradley Beal. Devin Booker has been the center, the main piece this whole entire time, and you cannot switch that up. You cannot change this nucleus. You cannot screw up that, at least. The GM, the owner, these are the things that you need to watch out. Let me know what you guys think down below. I think this is absolutely egregious. I would never trade Devin Booker from the Phoenix Suns, especially for that offer that Bill Simmons got, because Contractually wise, we need to free up some space for the future and save some money in the long run. And doing that with CJ McCollum and Trey Murphy, I don't believe would do that. Let me know what you think down below in the comment section. What are your guys' thoughts on that mock trade? And next thing that we're going to be breaking down is the Suns possibly making a terrible move for trading for Bradley Beal. And that's what David Aldridge had to say. If we want to look at this tweet here, he had to say that somebody said, when you think you're a max player in this league, and we think you're a max player in this league, and that's on them. Washington will never cop to this, but they were so relieved when Phoenix said that they got the deal done and they were able to acquire a guy. So that's what I'm saying. Washington felt relieved they didn't have Bradley Beal, the $50 million player on their squad, after dealing with injuries and injury seasons with Washington. He finally was like, I want out. I don't want to rebuild here. I want to go to a team and help out. And Phoenix jumped on that, trading away Chris Paul to the Warriors, or excuse me, not to the Warriors, to the Wizards, and then ultimately giving up some draft capital as well in campaign, which, again, has it really helped out? Yes, we all know Chris Paul wasn't worth that contract. We all know that Chris Paul wasn't going to be staying with this Phoenix Suns team, but has Bradley Beal ultimately helped out the squad? In my opinion, I don't think so. I did not like this move when it happened, and I'm not liking it right now. If we want to look at Bradley Beal's stats this season, we can see 18.2 points, less than his career. Obviously, more rebounds, more assists because he's playing with better players. He's playing alongside Devin Booker. He's playing alongside Kevin Durant, so he's going to get those better looks. He's going to have better field goal percentage because he's not just the number one scorer on this team, not just shot chucking. He has other options from the 2-point range, from the 3-point range to be able to help him out. Besides John Wall, and since his injuries, Bradley Beal and Kristaps Porzingis last year, but Kristaps Porzingis obviously was by himself last year because Bradley Beal was hurt. Bradley Beal hasn't had anybody to play with. And the main thing that we want to talk about Bradley Beal as well is the injuries, man. This guy played in only 53 games for the Phoenix Suns this season. It took forever for this team to have all their big three ready to go, and that's a main gripe with this squad, is just the fact that they were not able to get it done. Everybody be healthy. Everybody be ready to go. And that is a problem when you have three guys that are all making $40+ million and all three superstars. And plus, all three guys that really, really excel on the offensive side. You don't really have that playmaker. You don't have any defensive really weapons besides Kevin Durant, who's solid on the defensive side, but not an all-out defender. And that's what you need for this team. In my honest opinion, I hated this Bradley Beal trade. I wanted us to go get a point guard. I didn't mind getting that decent center, bringing in Nurkic. It was A-okay, but getting some wings. I know that they went and got Royce O'Neal at the trade deadline, and that was a guy I liked, and that was a guy that I really wanted them to get even in the offseason trying to trade for him. But even a guy like Dorian Finney-Smith or guys like that were on the trade block that were good, suitable wings, I felt like that the Suns should have prioritized that instead of a guy like Bradley Beal, trying to trade CP3 for a collection of guys to help you out, to give you that extra oomph, that extra push, because this is the problem. You have a bunch of guards, but no guards that can necessarily play make and set up your offense and get it really going, getting in rhythm. And then when you look at your big men like Eubanks and Nurkic, they're solid guys, but they're not any like dominant forces or big X factors down low. So they're going to get bodied by some bigger bigs. When Karl Anthony Towns, when Rudy Gobert go up against those guys, they're going to be able to handle them. And when those guys get taken out, we saw with the Suns in the second quarter, they dominated. But they need to capitalize on making some changes. Ultimately, in my opinion, I think the Bradley Beal trade was a bummer. But let me know what you think down below. What do you guys think? Honestly, the series is still alive. They go back to Phoenix on Friday, and they will try to win both of those games to keep this series alive. But if they do lose one, if they do lose both, and they ultimately do get swept, which I do not believe will happen, there are going to be some changes, and we're going to be breaking down all of that here on Suns Digest. So let us know down below in the comment section. What did you guys think? Do you guys think that the Suns should trade Devin Booker? Do you guys think that the Bradley Beal signing was a bad one? Let us know down below in the comment section. I'm Bruce Veliz. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode of Suns Digest, and I'll catch you guys all in the next video. Peace out and have a great rest of your day. Goodbye, everybody.